Dude, I would love to come back at any time. You know, it's funny when you asked me the other day, I was like, wow, man, I don't really see what value I have to offer, but sure, I'd love to go. And then it's like,
Yeah.
dude, stop putting yourself down. Of course you have value to offer. You know what I mean? Like,
Right on, man. Right
what
on. Yeah,
every
don't sell yourself short there at all. I mean, hell, you just said you've been around since September of 24. Um,
That's right.
you know,
And
yeah.
and I think this is important too. No matter who it is and what you're biased towards a person or a stock or whatever it is, an analyst, something, anything, there's always something to learn from everybody.
Yeah.
Whether
Yep.
you agree with them or not, there's always something to learn from everybody.
Yeah, there's
Absolutely.
no doubt about that. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good alpha, just underrated people on After Hour as well, and other platforms that we want to bring on. I got a DM from one of them earlier, which I'll let him, I'll name him once he comes on. But he's got a little bit of a smaller channel. He's going to come on to talk about some more stuff with the wheel strategy options. It's not Bob Doc. Bob Doc's going to come on to talk more about that too in the future. But yeah, I really want to encourage that. And, you know, if I can see their not their portfolio, but their like book of content alpha, and if it's solid, you know, I want to give them a platform. So in the future, if anyone on here has some stuff to share about anything, drones would be great, energy would be great. You know, Mag 7 will be fine, but I think we know about that. Let us know. And we want to have you on for a show.
I'm going to tell
Yeah.
everybody. I'm going to tell everybody what I told you guys. Guys, in the morning, buy into SkyQ, SKYQ. It's gonna go. It's been going up. It's gonna continue going up. Yep, exactly. There. Thank you. It's gonna keep going up, especially with the strait being closed, and that that goes into effect at 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. So
So why
not
SkyQ?
financial advice. Just watch it. Why SkyQ?
Yeah,
Uh,
what is SkyQ and why SkyQ?
it's one of the only oil refineries in Nevada in the entire
Oh,
state. So, you know, hey, if people are coming to the US, ooh, that might be something to be interested in. It's a super low float. I think it's like 2 million or something.
You like the low floaters?
I love them, man. I love them,
Yeah,
you know.
they're fun ones for sure.
Well, they can be real fun. They can be real bad too, you know. They're
And
dangerous.
so what's our thesis on that? Obviously, the Iranian deal went nowhere. There's no deal, so we're expecting straight to be closed. We're expecting to see a lot more onshore oil. So that's where this thesis is coming from. Of okay, it's onshore domestic refinery. Obviously, oil is still needed more than most other commodities on a day-to-day basis. So you think it's going to skyrocket based on that?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. And then any short positions will end up getting cooked as well.
And does this
Most
one have an options chain at all, or is it just shares? I'm just
I
going to
think it's
chain that
just
premium
shares.
view.
I'm not positive. I think it's just shares. I've been day trading it. So
I gotta say, this one's going crazy.
yeah,
We had a little bit of a pullback. I mean, it got all the way up to 1535. It was just 168. So I mean, yeah, this is a 1000% right here. Do you have a specific level you're watching? Like, are you looking for kind of a fill here potentially on that pretty large fair value gap? Sorry, they at the which 5 minute.
if I told if I told you guys the numbers that I've heard, you guys would go nuts. So I don't really want to say those because these numbers can go anywhere. You know what I mean?
sure.
They can go back to $1, and then everyone's like, "Well, Fish said." Well, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that happens. That does happen. You
And
know?
that's the risk of playing this game. I mean, these are more, yeah, on micro caps than small caps, even. And small caps are already volatile. So you go with a flow as low as this. And yeah, I mean, you can make or break your portfolio in a matter of minutes, really. So it's definitely one to watch. I mean, probably keeping an eye on that RSI, the relative strength index. Obviously, if it's squeezing, it's going to be overbought and it still continue to go up. But maybe you look and watch for some of these gaps to see if they get filled. I mean, we have a pretty large gap here, sub 10 that it might retest and bounce. But I'd say I'm not a specialty in micro caps, so technicals, you know, are probably out the window in some respect. But I might definitely pick up some shares here, Fish, to ride it with you.
A lot of these are just momentum based as well. Yeah, Free Baller says it makes money when it works, though, and he's right. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
he's right. When I'm wrong with these, y'all, I'm so wrong, and it hurts real bad. But when I'm right, they're really good. You know.
So let's say you're someone on here. Maybe it's a young guy. He's got 10,000 put away. For this play here, what are you allocating to that? Couple hundred?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, exactly.
Obviously, like it's high risk, high reward, is and high risk and high reward as it gets, really.
This is high risk, high reward. Absolutely, it can skyrocket. It can tank. You don't know what's going to happen right now. Um, uh, I mean, just with the stock, geopolitically, I mean, there's just a lot of different things that could happen, right? So yeah, maybe you pick up 10, 15 shares just to see what's happening and ride it
Yeah.
and dip your toe in the microcap market. This also may not be the stock to get because of the price. You know what I mean? I don't usually look for microcaps that are priced like this. I usually look for $5 maximums.
Yeah, you're looking for them when they're here, and then
Eh,
you catch them, and then they go, but this one's gone. I mean, I feel like this is almost like trading a leveraged oil future or something because it's really going to be impacted by geopolitical news. Like if we, see on X tomorrow morning, Trump says, "Oh, it's actually an Iranian deal." I mean, this will absolutely plummet. But if we're just hearing, okay, no, nothing with the Strait of Hormuz, like a mine went off in the water there, it could rocket even farther. So I think it's
Right.
you're playing almost extra leverage without the typical means like an option. You're really just banking out the geopolitical news and just with the flow and the volume. I mean, yeah, this thing could squeeze really hard if the news doesn't let up for sure.
Free baller's
speak
got a point right there. Talking about ONDS was a micro.
Absolutely.
You know,
Oh yeah,
maybe not.
it was brutal for years. Yeah, that one's. I guess it's a little different in terms of for some it was probably like this where it was just a squeeze, and the others it was like conviction play based on kind of what we saw going on with trends and how the
Right.
drone kind of started.
Right.
I mean, a recent squeeze off the drone trend was the one that I missed, and I know Bob flamed me for it, which is fair. What was it? DRNs? No, what was it? What was the drone, the IPO that happened that was priced at $5 and squeezed to like $60 in a day?
Swarmer.
Oh yeah,
Swarmer.
yeah.
That's
Swarmer.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think wasn't it priced at like 1250 or so?
It
Something
was, I
like
think
that.
it opened at 5 or no, I think it was priced at 5. It opened at 1250 and it
Okay.
ran to 60. And I don't
Yeah.
actually know what it's at now, but
It's
yeah,
still up
big
there
thing.
at 30 or so. I'll look, but one I tell you one that Fish let me know about early on, right ahead of Bob Dog was Satellogic,
Yeah, yeah.
SATL, and that one's holding up well.
Boy, did I get out of that too early. Woo,
Right.
I
Yeah, I
paper
think
handed that.
Bob Dog did it too, maybe. But it was a
Space is
good
a hot
game.
trend right now
It's
for
hard to
sure.
argue with profit, but yeah, Satellogic's holding up real well.
Yeah. I got a shout out. I got that from a user on After Hour, Bavfan, Bavfan. I got to give credit where credit is due, man.
Nice. Yeah, I know Bad Fan. That's
Yep,
cool as hell.
yep, that's him. That's
Yeah, I'm
all
gonna
him. I
jot
got to
that
give.
one down too. Go back and take a little closer look at Bad Fan.
That's right. That's right.
See what else he might have mentioned for real.
I'll also say I got into it a bit in my comments last night with Simple Gains, but I wanted to give him a shout out because he was the one that was actually he went in short on Ondas when it was right about $15, against the sentiment and made some money off that. And then I know he was calling things with VIX calls, and he thought that I was copying his play. I wasn't. He actually is going to get probably a better increase because he went with 2 weeks over a month. But I want to say if you're not following that guy, he's got some pretty good geopolitical insights, similar to like Allo and a couple of the other ones on After Hours. So he's definitely one over there to follow. And I wanted to give him a shout out on here just because we've definitely butted heads in the past, but I think he does have some good alpha and does put it out for free. So shout out to him as well.
Dude, I agree with you. I follow Simple Gains, man, and that dude's smart. When he posts, you should listen.
Yeah, and he kind of came out of nowhere. I feel like he was in that phase 4 of After Hour creators, and yeah, originally we were button heads, but he's got good alpha. I follow him as well, and I do like contrarian approaches to things. So yeah, he's a good one for sure.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, what about you? You got any After Hour people you want to shout out?
Oh man, I mean, there's so many people that I love on After Hour. One thing that I will say is this: to anybody that's new, find the people that post about stuff that you like. Right? Find stuff that interests you. You don't have to exactly follow their trades. Just follow their posts. Just see what they're about. You can learn from them. And if you have questions, ask the dumb questions, because after hour is where I learned everything I know about trading. Not investing, but trading, right? There's a big difference between investing and trading.
Yeah,
So
totally.
if you ask the dumb questions, you can get the answers. And guess what? At one point, somebody had to ask that dumb question to be able to answer that dumb question. So with that being
Absolutely.
with that being said, I mean, shit. There's a ton of people, man. Royalty Trades trying to make it. Migraine Knight, Bob Dog, Chief Tapaho, Warren Buffett. He's got a lot to offer. Vivian, if you're not following and you're into crypto, definitely give him a follow. I mean, there's just so many people. There's too many off the top of my head. And finance, trading with art. We already mentioned Simple Gains, terrified of AI. I mean, there's a
Everybody
lot.
has a good list too on his channel somewhere where he's got a list of people to follow, and I'm sure a lot of them probably aren't active anymore. But yeah, there was a lot of really good people on there with good alpha. And you said trying to make it before we started the show. Shout out to him for his SPY levels. I mean, he's been killing the game. I only trade MNQ, so I'm on Nasdaq, but they kind of correlate quite a bit. So shout out to him for the alpha he's been putting out too.
Yeah, I do want to give these two guys an extra shout out. Royalty Trades and Trying to Make It. Both of those guys, I owe them so much. They taught me pretty much everything I know about reading charts, and they will always have a very special place in my heart. Thank you both so much.
Yeah, I
So
found them to be nice guys too, and willing to help, willing to answer the questions. That's probably another key thing that new people ought to look for.
100%.
Is just keep an open mind too, because a lot of times there's more than one answer to the same kind of question, or more than one approach, I might say,
That's
to
right.
a given situation. That's what makes it so cool, really. All the different ways to skin a cat. It never amazes me how much, just in America, generally speaking, how many ways there are to make a dollar.
Speaking of which, this is something that I wanted to talk about, right? So I made one post on After Hour talking about one stock, and I said you can make money off hot garbage, right?
Right? Oh yeah, right.
You gotta know what the hot garbage is, right? And what's going on with it. So one thing that I started looking at was, hey, let's find stocks that have recently bounced from a 52-week low. This is what I'm
Right.
going to start looking at, right?
Right.
You're going to get in cheap. You're going to lose a lot of them, but some of them, you're going to go fucking exponential on them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see this shit happen all the time in some different penny stock groups that I'm on. It happens. I just haven't been thinking about it the right way. So this is the new way that I'm going to start thinking about it. It's experimental. I'm throwing it out there for everybody. You heard it here first. So there you
I'm
go.
actually watching one of those, which is one of the bigger positions I took this year with SRFM, Surf Air Mobility. They had a
Nice.
50-week low. I really do expect them to bounce. Their analyst trading it's quite a bit higher, closer to 500 or 600% current value. And that one, I do think is going to bounce up this $1 mark, and then eventually go back up here due to the Palantir ties it has. I would be surprised if Palantir just buys them out completely. Palantir's been taking a beating too, so that's my 52-week play low right now with a small sized stock.
Hey, what do you think's up with the Palantir investment in Surf Air Mobility? They just use them as a service, or
Yeah, I wrote an article on them. It was a couple months ago. It was something to do with their service, and we know Surf Air Mobility is integrated into 5 or 6 different airlines. So I think it's some kind of a push into that field. And the deal was just for Palantir to buy a specific amount of their outstanding shares, which is why it bounced so much in the past. So they had some reason to do so, but I don't know if we ever got a real explanation of why they decided to do that. But it's interesting, and the fact that we're down from the $5, $6, $7 mark, now we're down to $1. I wouldn't be surprised if Palantir took a bigger stake, and that was announced at some point, which obviously will send the stock sky high. But who knows when that'll happen? So I'm just holding those patiently for now. About 15,000 shares or so, I believe.
I've been wondering about that a little bit, when it pops in, because things just kind of come in and go out, come in and go out. It's almost like the stock market, and all the different stocks out there. There's just so many of them. But um, with the approach that Palantir is, I've referred to them as having the keys to the kingdom. You got to go through them to sort of interface with large sets of data, and that's my rudimentary way of putting it. But it just seems like that whole FAA and the beyond visual line of sight for the for the FAA and the drone certifications that they're trying to figure out how they're going to do the air traffic control for drones when more and more of them get in the air for either legit commercial purposes, more and more recreational purposes. But I just see Palantir playing a big role in that, and that's going to be tied to the hip with the FAA and the commercial aviation and air traffic control, ground control, the different ways they hand them off and can follow these targets, or these things that are flying in the air. And so anyway, just to sort of bring that Palantir focus with the SRFM, and with the airlines and the drones and the things that we're looking at with ONDS and other companies in that sector, with the counter drone systems and whatnot. That's why I asked about the SRFM, and it just seems sort of a natural way that they'll be getting, mating up. There's a lot of exciting stuff about to happen. I think it's really just speeding up, actually. Um, there's things we're still waiting on to come down the pike, regulatory speaking, to sort of allow for some really big news announcements. Um,
Yeah. I mean, it's happening a lot of ports overseas with that low altitude air traffic control stuff. So we know Centrix, which is a subsidiary of Ondas, is already integrated in some of those layers. Obviously, there's some extreme lobbying going on here with the FAA and Department of Transportation for that low altitude air traffic control stuff to be put in place for drones as well. The Commercial Drone Alliance, which Eric Braxia of Ondas is chairman of, we know that's got like Wing, which is used by like Walmart, DoorDash, things like that. Amazon's in there. Huge companies that obviously want a cheaper method to deliver their stuff. Obviously, that kind of technology is still being added, and there's no infrastructure put in place yet. But you got to imagine that. Have you ever seen like Star Wars on like Coruscant, when you have those buildings, you have all those like flying cars or spaceships flying in lines? I think you're gonna see something like that thrown.
Star Wars, yeah.
Flying around the low altitude air traffic control area.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just going to require a huge CUAS presence to actually confront that. So whenever we do see that, I mean, these companies are going to absolutely explode, and all of them that are, the fact that Ondas is has such a key position as the head of that Commercial Drone Alliance, and they're like full in on the lobbying with these other huge companies. Obviously, other companies have a blank check on how much they can put in. You got Walmart, huge, DoorDash, huge, and that's really going to help Ondas for the long term because they all want the same thing. And if the UAS stuff is flourishing, then CUAS obviously has to flourish too to counter it. So it's entropy. So expect big things from that whenever that happens. Obviously, it's a long.
Yeah, it is, and I think it's about to get longer because Amazon just dropped out of that Commercial Drone Alliance submission for, yeah. So what the big argument is for all the drones that people are flying for, whether it's recreational or commercial use, to broadcast out their position, their speed, and heading, and that sort of, then that information is assimilated in a system, right? The reason Amazon is saying that they dropped out is that more or less hands over the information that a bad actor would need to mess with this whole system and to hijack drones. So a heavy lift drone carrying whatever could be hijacked and just flown into a bus or into a school or whatever. Um, so anyway, yeah, there's a lot going on with that. I think the government is really grappling with um, how they're going to regulate and watch maintain, keep the whole system safe, um, for normal lawful activity, but also protect against the nefarious stuff.
So you're saying like a Centrix kind of thing where it's the cyber or radio frequency, but by a bad actor, where they're taking over the drone like Centrix would instead of
Exactly.
getting it down, they're like crashing it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
obviously that's very bad. That sounds
Yeah.
like a lot of lawsuits and just danger.
Well,
Yeah.
and the system that the FAA wants them to put in place right now is it works with and it particularly a real big the next level concern over that is that type system works when, like every ship and plane or whatnot right now, they've got a transponder they turn on, it's broadcasting that information, but there's a human being that's actually controlling or driving, that airplane. Um, but when this starts getting broadcasted um, with drones, yes, you could, someone with the right technology could sort of hone in on that drone, and all of that information it's broadcasting makes it easier for that to happen. But then it also makes it even easier to hijack the autonomous stuff that's working, that would be out there, doing its thing at whatever application level. So yeah, it's a lot going on. It's one thing on the battlefield in Ukraine or wherever we're in contested space where it's more or less anything goes, but in a civilian or in a regular country or our country or anywhere, it's there's a lot going on that they've got to figure out, man. They need to figure it out fast too, because I've seen some stories that are not showing on the mainstream media yet, but of some drones flying over military bases and being unchallenged, and a little bit of that's coming out from the Middle East with some
Yeah.
of the attacks that have happened have actually been fiber optic drones on our bases. So yeah, there's a
Military
lot going on.
but like I don't think we're going to see the drone infrastructure come in and unless the margins are good enough. Because obviously it has to be a lot better than just hiring contractors like with DoorDash to go and deliver the food. Like it has to be a lot cheaper to actually justify creating that infrastructure. It has to be used for a lot of different things, and it best makes sense from the company perspective. So we might not see that for a while, but it'll probably be more like military, police, first responders, things like that.
Right, right. So, but that does bring up one of our newest favorite drone stock, Volatus, out of Canada. Um, they already have beyond visual line of sight approval through the Canadian FAA for the things that they're using their drones for. And particularly that heavy lift capability and inspection service, than that remotely piloted aircraft. So they've got people, in one part of Canada that are flying things, way out in a different part of Canada.
Didn't they just beat on earnings also?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
they did. It was, it wasn't like spectacular blowing out the water
hey,
necessarily,
a,
but
a beat
everything's
is a
moving in the
beat,
right
you know?
direction. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
A
Um,
beat is a beat. I'll take it, especially from a smaller company,
Right, right. Uh, and there's a lot. There's some other geopolitical stuff going on. With the make sort of, I call it make Canada great again, but they got their own defense, industrial, what do you call it, strategy that the central government has passed and funded to bring supply chains in, to Canada. Um, so a lot of that's playing on. They got a new manufacturing facility, and they just so that's a what they call the demand signal, right? Coming from the government with what they've got funded for these military applications. So Volatus's revenue from the military went from 5% of their overall revenue in 24 to 25% in 25, and that's sort of ramping up like this right now. And they just hooked up with another company, a private company, where they've the Glenn Lynch, the CEO, called him a partner. The news release, all I remember reading about was actually a memorandum of understanding, but basically, Sentinel R&D is a private company, and they've got a intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance drone that or actually it's a drone that's payload agnostic. So you put a warhead on it and fly it as a one-way attack drone, or you could you have intelligent, cameras, other sensors on it, or a combination of the two. It just depends on, the range is then dictated by the weight of the warhead. But it could be a intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance drone that expends itself if it finds a target, or returns to base, gets refueled, rearmed, or set up with a different payload and used again. Um, but the manufacturing facility techniques that they're using with that, combined with the um, Volatus being able to handle sort of the software load, and all of this stuff is going toward autonomy. Just like, I don't know, a decade ago or so, maybe a little bit longer even, everything was moving off of the laptops onto our mobile devices,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the push where, the online purchases are going to, that's what's happening with the drone stuff. And all of the unmanned ground vehicles, surface vehicles, underwater vehicles, all of these unmanned, uncrewed systems are going toward an autonomous, matrix style type of swarm capability, cooperation, being able to see each other's viewpoint from wherever they are on the battlefield or in the particular space. It's amazing, and how fast as things are getting iterated, and changing, as we move forward. So anyway, that's some good news, I think, with Volatus we got going on. I guess the elephant in the room, though, we got to talk about, everyone's calling the extra share count. We might have to go check out another.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let's get into that then. I want to hear a little bit more. Just about fish on special guests.
Yeah.
So we got that one play tomorrow. What I want to know, like, so for specific micro caps, when you're looking for these big swings, are you looking in specific sectors, or how do you actually identify like which ones you think are going to squeeze? Is it just looking for the 52-week low? Do you have some sort of scanner? Like, how do you find these? Because your success rate is pretty astounding.
So the 52-week low thing is something that I like just started at, and I haven't really even put into effect except with SVCE. I noticed that had recently bounced, and I was like, hey man, I told everybody the story. I got high as shit on hash. I started thinking, I was like, what is like the most ridiculous thing that I can do right now? And I'm just looking at all sorts of different stuff and putting in different parameters. And I was like, SVCE, that's it, man. Let's do it. And yeah, hey, you know what? I also, it wasn't just a long shot. I knew what I was doing here. This was a stock that had traded up and above well above $100, and now it's down at $2, right, or $2.50, whatever, when I bought it. So I'm either going to lose $250 by buying in with $100, or I'm going to make a shit ton of money if I just hold this, right? Especially we just had the astronauts coming back, right? So we think space is going to be big on Monday, anyways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, I know that this company just reopened a factory in Arizona to be building their space consumer space tourism aircraft, and they just started taking customer orders again at $750,000 a ticket for rides going up to low orbit space in either August or winter of this year. This all tells me that buying in at around $2.50 might not be the dumbest idea I've ever had while high on hash. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Hey, I like how we call some of these stocks by the acronym of their ticker symbol.
Yeah.
We refer to Sunny or Fish or Drone Daddy or Space. And it's a Richard. What's his name from Virgin Galactic, right?
Yeah, SPCE is Virgin Galactic. It's Richard Branson's consumer space tourism company.
Yeah, it's cool just to call it space, though. I mean,
that's what they're trying to do.
Right.
But yeah, no. So the way that I find them, super, super simple. It's so stupid, man. It's just ridiculously stupid. The only thing I do, guys, is I set up a screener for stocks that have pumped 15% or more already. And I want them to have floats at 50 million or lower. That's it. That's all I care about.
52-week low, 50
50 million or
million.
lower than what? Sorry.
So all I care about is a float lower than 50 million,
Mhm.
right? And then also I care about that it's pumped already 15% in that day. All right. Then
Right.
from there, you have to go and look at the chart. Okay, what does the chart look like? Then look at the MACDs. Are the MACDs in your favor? Are they bearish? And are they about to turn bullish? Is this just, normal price fluctuation? Or is this stock started to tank? You also want to look at, and this is super important, the volume, right? In relation to the normal volume, is this trading exponentially? Has it already hit half the volume for the day by 6:30? You know what I mean? Well, if that's the case, this is probably going to continue. You know what I mean? And then the most important thing is news. Is there news that is pushing the volume and the price action? Right? Here's a
You're
great
looking for a
example.
catalyst.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You got to have a catalyst. Otherwise, these things aren't going to push through, and they're just going to be quick rides. Right? Here's a great example. Everybody saw AIXI, right? That's a real company. It's gonna do real things, and I saw it. I saw it because of my screener. It's the only reason why I knew about it. So then it popped on my screener, and it was at like 20 cents. And I looked at it, and I saw what the news was. And the news was that they had just won a final court case in China against Apple. Apple had been stealing their intellectual property. The judgment hasn't been handed down yet, but when it is, we all know it's going to be big, and it's definitely going to wipe out all the debt from that company and give them a giant surplus of cash.
Right.
So I bought 4,000 shares, right?
Yeah.
Bought,
Yeah.
I bought 2,000 at 20 cents, and I bought more at 2,000 at 15 cents, right? Because I didn't get in at a good buy. I FOMO bought, right? I wasn't watching the chart, right? Not afraid to say it. I FOMO bought. But then I was smart enough to DCA and average down. I knew this was going to climb up. We all made a bunch of money on it. I finally sold it 1,000%. I ended up buying more, and I kept my Robinhood position as well. That's at 36 cents. I ended up buying more in Webull at $1.45, and I'm holding these because of the news behind it. And when it drops, I will DCA. They can short it down. I don't give a fuck. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I will buy more. Short it, please, because I know what I hold. I know what I hold.
That's key.
That's one of the most important things.
Absolutely key. You need. I mean, if it's a long hold, you got to have conviction in it. If you don't, then why are you holding it? It might as well just get out of it and find something else. I mean, that's so true.
Now, don't get me wrong. I wasn't stupid enough to just hold my original position. Hell no. We took profit on that motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah. Even at these higher prices, after 1,000%, it's still house money. You still, what you're deploying is not the original capital part at all. So
That's right.
That's a nice bounce, though. From those levels,
That's
no
right.
doubt.
Also, trading, it sounds like a futures it sounds like you're almost trading futures where you're looking for like confirmation the daily. You're looking for like 15, so you're looking for that breakout. You're looking for volume. You're looking for a few things for that tight squeeze, which I mean, just like what I'm looking at when I'm doing my futures trading, I'm looking for a few of those things, obviously in different ratios, but in terms of like investing versus doing like these swings, these plus 1,000%ers, I mean, it does sound a lot more similar to like day trading. And obviously with some of them, you're only holding them for a day. So it's kind of cool to look at that perspective of it's investing, but it's almost closer to trading than investing. It's very interesting.
The weird thing is that some of these you end up saying, "Oh my God, why the fuck did I sell for 100%?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a couple days later, you would have made 3,000, or you would have lost all your money as well. I want to make that very, very clear. Like we said earlier, these are very volatile, and this is not to encourage anyone to dump all of their port into these penny stocks because they're super volatile and you can lose.
Yeah, I sold. I got AMPX on that dip earlier this year. I I think I had like 10 strike calls. It was like $7, $8 at the time. And then it was up 100%. I sold them. And then it ran all the way up to like 1960 or something. Those would have been like 3, 4, 5, 600%ers. So my thing is like, I always like want to lock in profit, or at least have like a trailing stop when it gets to my threshold, just to make sure that I'm actually gaining stuff. I mean, I've held like ONDS contracts in the past that were months and months out, and they were up 200%. I'm like, oh, it's going to keep running. And then they actually went down. It's like drawdown where they were negative, and I had to sell for a loss on a couple of them. So you just never know. It's always good just to profit is profit, trail that stop if it's a runner, and maybe sell some and then keep 1 or 2 contracts running long term just in case as lotteries. But yeah, always lock in that profit for sure.
That's right. That's the name of the game, man. But yeah, it's so simple. Just a little screener that says 15%. Little, how much volume, and the lower the volume, the higher the swings. So
right.
Just remember that, So I also have one screener that's set up for stocks that have moved 20% that day with floats under 1 million.
Oh, that's really small. Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I love the under 5 million floats. That's what I really look for. I'll deal with the 50 millions, but the lower the float, the more interested I am.
What about 1.2 billion? How do you feel about that float?
You know what? Normally not what I look for.
Me neither.
But I think I can make exceptions.
No, that's my one exception, and I don't like it. So we'll see. I like it, but I don't like it, obviously. Yeah.
You know what? Here's what I have to say about this. A lot of people get scared. All right. And I knew that we were going to talk about this. So let's talk about it. It's the elephant in the room, right?
Let's do it.
Right. All right. Let's go. I'm going to make a joke. And I want to be very clear that this is a joke. If you're scared, please sell all your fucking shares.
Right.
Fucking sell every goddamn one of them, because I want them. I want to buy them all.
Right.
When the price drops, I will scoop them all up and I will make money as I hold them. Simple as that. Don't sell your stuff out of fear. Seriously, don't sell your stuff out of fear. You know what you hold. You know what the potential value is on this, right? Think to yourself, what is the reason for dilution? Not all dilution is bad, right?
Right.
So do we need capital to possibly expand our business, to possibly acquire more companies that would make our company run a little bit more seamless? These are all probabilities, not possibilities. Eric Brock's not stupid.
Yeah, I think I realized we kind of went in there that we understand I guess the not inside joke, but we understand what we're talking about. Just for the people that hopped on, we're going to talk about just the ONDS potential dilution coming up here. We're at their future shareholder meeting. They're discussing bringing the float from 800 million to 1.2 billion. This comes after them doubling the float from 400 million to 800 million just a few months ago. I guess I want to make it clear first that essentially it is allowing them to increase the float, but doesn't mean it's a dilution event. So essentially they have the option to dilute from 800 million to 1.2 billion, but they don't have to. Obviously, it's very fast. I did a whole write-up on after hour, kind of what my thoughts were on it. I think it's too quick. But my thought process is, why would they need to do that already unless there was something big? Honestly, if they didn't have that partnership with Mistral and a couple things that's direct lobbying with the Pentagon, I would be a little bit suspect. For some reason, they really want to keep that cash position that they have, meaning that I think there are really big things coming. If they get anything to do with the Golden Dome, I mean, that's going to be about as much of their market cap or more. So there might be just something really big coming. I kind of am not... Obviously, for 2027 options, I think we might need to roll this 2028. But I don't hate it just because of how bad the retail sentiment on it's going to get. And if the retail sentiment gets bad and everyone flips bearish, it's going to be less likely for people to short it, most likely, because you're going from 15 to 9, and now what's it going to do, like 9 to maybe 6 or something like that. Just the risk to reward for like these big institutions to actually short that just goes down dramatically. And if retail isn't mindlessly pumping it, they're going to move on to the next hot thing, whatever that is. whether that be RCAD or something else like that. So I wouldn't actually mind to see that volume come down. I know, Benny, you were talking about that too. Just that volume coming down, people kind of forgetting about it, and then it's slowly making that run back up. We'll have to see though. If that vote passes, and I do think it will pass, then in the short term, I think things might get a little muddy. But then I'm expecting another big ramp up. I mean, if we remember anything from the last dilution when that occurred, uh, the shares doubled, stock got hit, and then we ran it to all time highs. And I think we got to remember that there are warrants at $20 and $28, and obviously, I don't think they're going to dilute again until they're trading for a premium. So that's like 15.50 at least, or I think it was 16.50 was the price between the shares and the warrants. So I'd expect 16.50 at the least, probably 20 before they actually went in and actually did a dilution. So that's why I'm still holding ONDL. That's why I'm still holding my options and why I'm not selling for a loss. And I'd rather just roll them into 2028 once we get closer to there. So I'm paying less for theta in the short term because I'm not expecting anything big in the short term. So I'd rather just get a better deal later. So yeah, very bullish on it long term. Obviously, analyst ratings are all about double the price of what it is currently. And not too worried about that long term. Short term, though, I feel like money could probably be put in better spots in terms of things moving. But with the geopolitical concerns, and if war continues, then those defense stocks might do well. So, yeah, I definitely like Unusual Machines probably as my short-term drone pick for a large uptick after it came back down, just because of how many companies they're partnered with in that drone dominance program. So they're my current pick for appreciation in stock price in the short term. ONDS is still my top for long term, even with dilution concerns in the future. You guys want to add on anything to that? Up to notice or anything?
Yeah, I think that I think we'll find out. I don't have any inside knowledge whatsoever, but it wouldn't surprise me to find out later that increase when the Trump administration has put forward the $1.5 trillion defense budget. I mean, this is 50% more than our typical, sorry guys, $900 million $900 billion to $1 trillion. It could just be where they're starting from for their negotiations, but that whole autonomous defense autonomous warfare group thing, that went from 250 million to 54 billion. And
Can you repeat that
that's
again? I mean, I want people to really understand that because when you said that the first time, it shocked me.
yeah, 250 million in the 25 budget for basically trying to figure out how to make weapons autonomous and how to infuse autonomy at whatever level of autonomy across the board. What they're realizing is they need this autonomy in everything, not just the drones, the first person view drones that are dropping hand grenades or are themselves explosives that fly right into the trench and blow up, or right into the back door of a wherever some conflicts going on. But all of the other equipment and patching it all together so that the eyeballs on this drone can be seen by this soldier or this commander or this tank group or this airplane, whatever, across the whole battlefield. That's taken like a super amount. This is also a data center play, but just a super amount of raw computing power behind the whole software layer to enable it to happen. But anyway, that amount has been increased from the 25 budget of 250 million, give or take, to the request of over 50, right at $54 billion.
That's a
So
216 times increase.
right, right,
I mean, how
exactly.
is it even?
Yeah, there's
That's
four
an insane
250s in
margin.
every billion. So yeah, it's amazing when you think about those numbers. So um this idea about authorizing shares to have them on the shelf for a big time capital raise comes down the pike from ONDS after that becomes a headline, or that gets quietly introduced, or that's part of this overall defense authorization request. I don't think those two are not connected. You know, I,
See what
I
you're
think
saying?
I think one followed the other.
Seymour brought up a great point too. I was thinking when you were saying everything was connected, my thought went straight to Endural and those new FPV headsets where essentially they can see through walls because all the vision and things, the cameras are
Yeah.
connected. So it actually gives you real time view of people through walls. So
Yeah.
these are getting a little crazy. They're getting sci-fi for sure. So
It really is. It really is. So, when I think about that, and I think about the own personal conviction that I have in the paradigm shift that's happening in the military industrial complex, um, then I just go ahead and sit right on the shares. I'm trying to figure out now how to sell calls and buy more shares when the price drops.
That's
absolutely.
it.
Yeah, maybe get a part-time job so I don't have to take as much out.
And for me, I'm crazy, man. ONDS is one of those ones that I sold it once, and I'm probably never going to sell it again. Bought back,
Right.
you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
yeah, sure, I can make money on it. I'd rather just hold it. It's an investment rather than a trade for me. You know, that's because I feel like with what you're just saying here, Sonny. Everything's going to the way of autonomous. You
Mhm.
know, and it's just a matter of how companies evolve as well.
Right.
Sure, right now they may be focused on one thing, but their companies evolve. That's the way that they grow and become bigger, and that I just feel pretty strongly that they're going to do that.
Yeah. Well, that whole stack they got from the stratospheric satellite, observation platforms, basically. They can put the same technology on those things that they can put on the highest NASA satellites, turned around, focused down, down on whatever, subject they want, and, from that right down to the drones. And there's so many classes of drones, from the heavy lifts and the different groups they have for them and the different mission statements. But ground drones, the whole logistics end of things, on the water. Yeah, it's just, and when you start thinking about it, it's just too big to ignore. I'm just waiting, just can't wait for the Ondas to have that Palantir move.
Mhm.
Um, and that's why I don't want to trade it, man. Get in and out and miss that. You could wake up and I could think it popped $20 in one day. So
Exactly.
so yeah.
I mean, they have a lot of different revenue sources coming in. Right now, the thing is they've just been using a lot of capital and shares, just like not really actually capital, more shares in the balance sheet to acquire companies. And this revenue started to come in, but it's slow. So when they maybe have news almost every day of some new contract, but the stock prices are not moving. We're going to need
Yeah.
to see something big, probably 9 figures to really get it moving, a few dollars in a day, which I do think is possible and is probably coming. It's just, we don't know when. I mean, that Mistral deal, the Department of Transportation's drone dominance program, when they had the Iron Drone and the Optimus system in front of the FAA and the Secretary of Transportation. Those aren't random things. Those are for a reason. So
Yeah.
obviously, this is something that's going to happen. Governments move slow, regulations move slow, but when it does happen, it's going to be huge. So I'd rather be at least have skin in the game and get that big move than chance it. At least with some of my portfolio. So obviously, diversify. That's smart. Being in all small caps, which is something I do. I was able to bring my account from like 40,000 to nearly 300,000 in less than a year. So it's got the possibility for ups, but also, right now, I mean, I got a good amount of ONDL. I got like a 5-figure loss on that unrealized. So, it depends on what's going on from day to day, and it can always change. So, uh, it's good to have big money in high conviction plays and also diversify too. So, just for all those people out there that, in case you're all in on one stock, even if it's your highest conviction, think about doing a little bit of diversification across possible multiple sectors and maybe getting some gold, have some, have us have some cash on hand, things like that.
Yeah, having cash to trade, that's yeah, it kind of sucks seeing good ones to buy and or even trade and saying, I'm all locked up. So um But man,
I'm sitting about 40% cash right now, waiting for our next liberation day, if you will. You know
yeah,
what I mean? I've got a
Yes,
nice
sir.
chunk just set to the side. It's in a boring little fund collecting 4%. It does nothing. You know what?
yeah,
I want it there. That's exactly where it sits until our next liberation day. The last time that we had liberation day, I went I went I went shopping. I went on a nice little shopping spree. You know?
yeah,
I mean, one of the best trades is no trade at all. Because if you can catch those dips and they happen maybe once a year, once every 2 years, 3 years, I mean, that is a better gain than anything you get, especially if you pick up like some leaps in it too and add a little bit of leverage on those lows. And those are so cheap out of the money that, I mean, it's crazy. It's
Yep.
crazy what you can get.
Yep. So
Alrighty. Well, so that was the ONDS. Yeah, we had to address
on this elephant. Yeah,
the update.
yeah,
I will say I saw takeoff, which is Vladis was mentioning. We talked about it a little bit earlier. I'll just say 0 hour. We got something cooking on that. Can't say what or with who or what, but just know you might see some of that stuff in the future. Through the success of the ONDS interview and whatnot, we've been able to expand our reaches for stuff. We've been seeing some interest. So yeah, we got some cool things coming for you guys. If you haven't seen, we actually did update the website, and we're pretty happy with how it's looking. We still have some updates and things to do, but and it's currently we have some updates going on beta section in our test environment for some really exciting stuff. But there's the link to 0 Hour Group website if you haven't seen it. It's definitely gotten a nice overhaul since was originally just there for a placeholder. So check us out there, and if you know any CEOs that might want to be interviewed, let them know to submit a request on there. All right,
yeah.
let's talk
Check it
about
on out.
Yeah, we got to do that.
Yeah.
Fish, let's do hash plays. What do you got? How you feel right now? You got anything else cooked up that could be risky or fun?
oh man, dude. So like, yeah, that was. I mean, that Sky Q is a good one. One to watch for lows and sort of trades in a range is let's see what I can pull up here. DVLT.
Right. That'll
Vault
yeah.
AI. It's actually a company that I have a lot of conviction in and a lot of shares in. They've got like 12,500 shares or something. You can watch for lows and trade it. It trades in a nice range. Right now, it's sort of in the middle of it. I don't really have any crazy hash plays right now. Tomorrow's going to be an interesting day, um, only because of everything that happened over the weekend. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get political here, but guys, the president of the United States said that he didn't care about the Strait of Hormuz, and now he's saying, no.
We're the ones
In
going to close
fact,
it up. Yeah.
I'm gonna be the motherfucker to close it. You're gonna fucking pay me to get through this.
Yeah.
So I ended up
What do you
in
mean you
there.
got the straight
Yeah,
closed? You ain't got the straight closed. I'm the one that's got the straight closed.
Right. So, like, guys, we just don't know what's gonna pop tomorrow. We don't know what's gonna happen. What I will tell you is, someone that I've heard a lot about and that I've watched a little bit of his stuff on YouTube. Um, he says that for penny stocks, for the ones that run all day, get in after 10:30. See what has survived that morning crush and get in 10, see what's going there, and 10:30 on is really when you can go in. Me, I like to be a little bit risky. Like we all know, I'm high risk, high reward, so I go in pre-market. I
You're
open the
buying at 4:30. Yeah.
yeah, man, I opened a Weeble account just so I can get on at 4 a.m. and get by. You know?
So how are you managing those like pre-market trades? Is it just full scorched earth? Is there any sort of stop loss you have in there? Is there a certain percentage where you're like, okay, 50% down, I'm out, or you just like let it ride? Like just allocation small enough where I'm fine. This thing's going 10x or it's gone.
What's the stop loss?
There you go. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
no.
man. So, dude, they're all vibes, man. They're all vibes. And how do I feel about this stock? Is this short a fake out? Is it actually a real short? It's very costly to learn it. And I'm nowhere near a master at it by any means. You gotta set a mental note or your stop loss. How much money am I willing to lose? I put in $100. Am I willing to lose 50? Am I willing to lose 25? Am I willing to lose 100? It's all up to you, because these are these are all right. So Addie says $100, right? So if you put in $100, maybe put it, a 20%, 30% stop loss on it, because these are volatile, and so they can wick down right to your stop loss and then pop right back up. That's the part about it. You really need to be staring at the chart, and that's what I do. I stare at the damn chart while drinking Red Bull in my bed from 4 a.m. until I get up at 7 to get my kid going, and yada yada yada.
4 a.m. That's dedication.
4 a.m., dude.
Is that like
that's
the
what
the
moves
1
me.
minute chart?
What's that? Do I look at the one? No, I look at the 5.
Okay.
The 5.
All right.
Yeah.
That's in the futures guide. 5 minute. That's what we're using over here. No, at 4 a.m. I mean, that's honestly like during that London session is kind of what they call it. That's when a lot of moves have been made, just on like the core indexes as well. I feel like it used to be, New York, you'd see a lot of the actual moves, volume, and things like that. And like during the Asia session, you'd see kind of that accumulation. But I mean, there's been crazy distributions, to the upside or downside in London, where like a lot of the movement's actually happening after hours. So that's the kind of thing, or one of the reasons I don't really trade options as much, because it needs to be, during market hours. But futures and other things you can trade, all night if you want. And that's the same with that pre-market for ads, just stocks. It's fun stuff.
Yeah. My wife tells me, she's like, "Can you please come to bed? Stop trading futures." Yeah. 30 more minutes, hon. Be right there.
Actually trading some futures right now on the other monitor.
I love it.
Looking
over. I'm like,
Yeah.
talking to somebody.
I was curious. I had some more limits filled. Yeah, we're trying to catch that big gap right now. That big gap that's going on from the pre-market. We saw a big sell-off. So, oh yeah, everyone was wondering about the futures guide. That I have it ready to go. I just wanted to write a little bit of stuff, but it's out. Ish, I think, is the only person to see it so far. So that'll be going out for the live stream along with the recording too. So
Nice.
in that. What else do we want to talk about? We got some time. I know we can go to questions after that. But what else we got?
I think it's important to get into the macro level of everything.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that? You guys good with that?
Sure.
All right.
Let's do it.
I mean, so one thing that I want to remind people is don't be a horse with blinders. You know what I mean? Use your critical thinking skills. Get your information from as many places as you can and put it all together and see what you think is not just happening now, but is going to happen down the road. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to say that I foresaw Trump closing the goddamn Strait of Hormuz. I mean, what the actual fuck? I have I did not foresee that happening. But I did say, if you didn't see something happening over the weekend, you weren't paying attention.
Right.
You just weren't. There's no way that a peace deal was going to be reached in 48 hours. It just wasn't going to happen. Right?
I was shocked people were holding their calls over the weekend. I saw some people after hour holding calls. I'm like, you're kidding me. Like, there's no shots. I mean, what is propping this up? We have no deal. Or like, I think the issue is some people really believe what they're reading on like X or Truth Social from like political figures and think that they are a source of truth. And a lot of times, regardless of politics and stuff, they don't have to tell the truth. Like they're they can say whatever they want. We've seen a lot of manipulation. That's part of it.
And when you see price rising, right? When you see price increasing, look at volume. What is volume doing? Is volume increasing, or is volume just sort of staying sort of mellow, or is volume decreasing, but price is still increasing? Because if that's the case, you're becoming exit liquidity for somebody.
Yeah. There's no demand there, no volume.
That's right. And I think that goes right back to what John Daddy was saying. These people are sitting here telling you what they want you to believe, but they can lie, and they do. And that's it's all to make money.
Yep.
It's all for at the end of the day, money rules everything, and somebody's making money off of everything.
We talked about like the prediction markets before too. It's like, oh, there's this random bet of like a strike, and it's just like someone like in the Pentagon situation, you're always like putting that bet up there right now, and it's just like things have gotten out of control with with just all like the sports betting, the prediction markets. It's crazy. Um, Honestly, I kind of want to do a bridge into like crypto. So I've never been a crypto guy, but I know when I was used to watch your guys' podcast, which was fantastic, and hope you guys make the episode soon. You guys would bring up like MSTR and things like that back in the day. I've noticed
I'm still buying it right now, by the way. Sorry,
yeah,
to cut you off.
just MSTR or
MSTR. I'm still buying shares at these levels. Absolutely.
yeah. Because when it was like 400 or 500, I'm like, that is just I can't. Because you're paying just so much more for it than you are for like Bitcoin. But now where it's at, now it's looking pretty attractive, and we're seeing Bitcoin rally a little bit now, and maybe kind of bottom. We'll see. But let's talk about just crypto for a second, because I know some people are interested in that. And it's something we don't really cover. We got a maybe more of a crypto expert on, or maybe not a crypto expert, man who dabbles in the crypto.
Man who dabbles in crypto.
Yeah, there we go. What are we? Yeah. So are you thinking it's just going to be Bitcoin? Do you think there's going to be like the altcoins and like things like Ethereum or XRP that are going to get a relief off of that? Like how does Bitcoin does it drive the other like meme coins and things? What are you thinking on that?
Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin was a good indicator of altcoins and everything like that, right? But the problem with Bitcoin and now Ethereum as well is that they've been wrapped into the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They used to operate independently of the market. They no longer do that because you have all of these companies that were failing. They were about to go out of business, and they said, "You know what we can do? We can buy a bunch of Bitcoin. We can become a digital asset treasury company." And that's what a lot of small penny stocks did. So then you have all the ETFs as well, right? So here's my philosophy on Bitcoin. As people are saying, "Oh, it's tanking, it's going down, it's worthless," right? Okay, cool, great, awesome. Again, just like I said with ONDS, sell your Bitcoin, sell your MicroStrategy shares because I want them cheap. I do, because guys, companies like JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs and, et al., right? We don't have to go through the whole fucking list. Those companies usually make billion-dollar bets, and then they lose and they go, "Oh, geez, that didn't work out very well. Oh, well, that sucks." No, that's not what happens. That is not what happens, right? It doesn't fucking happen. It doesn't.
Right.
So everyone that's sitting here super, super bearish on crypto, okay, that's fine. Great. You have to do what's right for you. Right. I'm not sitting here trying to influence anybody. But for me, I believe in what I hold. I believe that I hold leveraged Bitcoin via MicroStrategy. I believe that Michael Saylor is a fucking Bitcoin genius and that he is going to do big things with strategy. I believe strategy will become a digital bank, a digital asset bank at one point. And I think that Bitcoin will see new all-time highs this year.
Yeah. Oh wow, this year.
Yeah.
This year. Okay. Okay. I mean, I think it's in its cycle of, it goes down. People are like, oh, they get really bearish. And it just, goes and makes new all time highs. I mean, it's done that 3, 4, 5 times in the last, 10 years. So I think it's all a psychological game too. Everyone gets bearish. That's when you get bullish. Be greedy when others are fearful. Be fearful when others are greedy. I mean, this is what runs the stock market, the 52-week lows, and why those are great and high confluence plays. If the stock makes sense because everyone's bearish, okay, that's what it goes. That's the same thing with like ONDS when everyone's super bearish about telling out bad news. It's why I'm bullish long term, among other things. But MSTR, I think, is another great one where it's looking like it might be coiling for a move up. But I mean, yeah, this thing in the low 100s. I mean, if you had some leaps on this potentially for like 2028, I don't know what the IV looks like or how expensive they are. I'm sure they're expensive.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this could go back up to 300 something, I'm sure. And I don't even invest in Bitcoin. I believe that.
I traded this back in the winter of 24 and I sold at, I think my average was 216 and I sold at 450.
Right.
I mean, this stock, what's that?
You said 16 and sold at 450.
My average was $216 a share. Okay. 216. There was
it's a
3-digit number, not a 2-digit number. Yeah. Yeah. And then right now, I'm still accumulating at these levels. I don't know what my average is, but it's around $200 and on 85 shares currently.
Yeah, I mean, I love this thing as the run up to, like near this almost equal double top, like near $200. I mean, this thing, yeah, looks like it's got real strong support at a bounce at around 115, 120. So I think, yeah, I'm not a Bitcoin guy. I mean, I wouldn't mind some exposure on some leaps if I could get in when it was around that key level there, just for the long term, for sure. I think that I might, maybe I'll make a play on one of my accounts. But yeah, Bitcoin is interesting, and if you guys like it, I mean, you guys have called many things before, so I'll definitely listen to that.
Like I said, it's shares because I know I can hold them. I can withstand the
Cheers.
withdrawal because it's something that I have a conviction in. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think JT's talking about leaps. A couple of years out, at least maybe. I don't know, man. I don't know what to think. I'm sort of agnostic when it comes to Bitcoin. Um, I there's a few guys I need at past jobs I need to reach out to and find out if they still have, what I mean. They should be billionaires today if they, had stuck with it. So hats off to that. I think that once Michael Saylor and after the 24 election and that big run up over, I think it went over $500, well over 500. And then all the copycats that came on, and not all of them were little tiny penny stock companies. A lot of them were, but yeah, I think GameStop has turned
Mhm.
into a Bitcoin treasury. A lot of companies out there are, and trying to separate the wheat from the chaff. Are they adding it, from a strategic way, to really add value to the long-term value to the balance sheet, or is it some sort of trying to obfuscate or cloud out some other issues? But I think the number one thing is once it came in like that and became center stage after the election, um, then all of the Jamie Dimons and the Goldman Sachses and all of them realized, "Oh, shit," So I think they've been going hard after, Monster. That's what I call, micro strategy, just because of back to the ticker names we give these stocks. But for strategy, he's got a target on his back now because I think he owned 2% of all the whole world's supply or something,
Yeah.
and it's like, man, we can't. If you're the Damie Diamonds of the world, man, we can't have that. Who the hell is he? And so he's got a lot of enemies that don't want to see him succeed because they're late to the party.
And and
Um,
and that's
yeah,
what Sailor feeds off of.
right.
Sailor feeds off of that. Sailor is not a normal person. I live near Michael Saylor. He's not near him, but near enough.
Yeah,
He's not a normal person
yeah. I
in real
wouldn't.
life. In real life, which tells me that he feeds off of people telling him you can't do that. Oh, I can't? Watch me. Gecko asked if I thought Bitcoin's still going to 450,000 by October, November. Absolutely not. I think that's entirely too high.
That's like those X bots that push it. I mean, you have to understand just from market dynamics, that would mean that the market cap would be just absolutely ludicrous. I mean, what even is the market cap of Bitcoin right now? And I would assume it's increasing by how much, like 6 times or something like that. I mean, it's just market dynamics that would just never happen.
Yeah.
Oh, he's thinking 45,000.
Oh, this is
I
Oh,
guess he's looking for more. Going lower for the.
no, he's 45,000. Sorry, I read that as 450,000.
Yeah,
My bad.
that makes more
he's
sense.
Okay.
he's
Okay.
waiting for a JT style bounce.
No,
Yeah.
because I've heard some people say that, and I'm just like, what the hell are you smoking? Like, there's no way it's going to 400K this year. Like,
It'd be like one of the
oh,
biggest asset in the world. I mean, then yeah, it'd be like a 10 trillion market cap.
yeah.
Just like that's not how things work.
45K. I've heard those estimates. I don't know. I think that's a bit low. It's not out of the question, no, but I just think that it's low. I think that if Bitcoin started getting that low, you would have too many buyers stepping in.
Yeah, that'd be a good time to buy MSTR for sure. I mean, I gotta say, like, RSI, Relative Strength Index, is like nothing I trade on solely, but it's definitely like a nice confluence for investing in day trading. And I mean, just look at it. I mean, it's extremely oversold. We're sitting at the bottom of that band, and the last time, and this is on a 5-year chart as well, which is obviously our confluence in like a 1 month, 6 month, 1 year. I mean, it bounced heavy. So obviously, B retailers are fearful. I really like this setup right now for some longs for sure. I'm sure a lot of stocks will look like that with this start of 2026, but just why I'm bullish on a lot of stocks over the next couple of years. So yeah, we're not seeing all as anymore on everything. So yeah.
And then there's the whole world of crypto, like with the Ethereum, the different use cases. It looks to me like, they're not using Bitcoin like they're setting up for Solana and Ethereum, with those payment rails and things they're talking about.
XRP, I don't know enough about it, but I hear XRP is supposed to be like huge in the in the fast payment system.
Right.
Yeah, I heard that too. And didn't they have a big donation to like Trump's campaign originally too? I heard
believe so.
They had a big thing to do with banking for sure.
Well, there was a big there's a big like campaign style event put on in DC by like a major crypto foundation. So all the crypto bros were backing Trump, and it would make plenty of sense that our XRP had donated.
I don't know why I can't find the XRP chart. I was like seeing it market cap. I was looking for XRP. I found XRP futures. That doesn't work either. So yeah, XRP. I know one of my friends bought in when it was like 16 cents or something, and yeah, he never sold it though. It went to like 3 something. He kept it. He's still holding like 70K or something of it. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I like looking at the technicals for the crypto stuff when it's like Bitcoin, MSTR, really like AAA companies in that space and commodities in that space. But yeah, outside of that, I do my the gambling in the small caps where I have high conviction more so than crypto. But yeah, that MSTR setup right now looks really nice around that $120 mark. So if I got into crypto, it'd probably be through that for sure.
It's a good one to hold shares because when it starts going up, it will be shorted to hell. So just
I believe
be prepared for that.
Absolutely. I mean, this is probably our longest live stream day. We've done questions, so this is fun. Fish,
yeah.
Everyone put something in the chat if you want to see Fish come back on the show because we love having him. So
I'll come back anytime, man. I love sitting here talking stocks. You guys let me know what you want to hear about, and I'll get high and make a list. And
yeah, no, we got. I mean, there's going to be so much more stuff to talk about here in the next couple of weeks too. It's pretty great. So we for sure. I mean, I will immediately hit you up if we have a spot for the week because yeah, this is fun. I think Substack now lets you do like 3 people. So sometimes if it's a bigger one, maybe we'll have to do one in Discord, like on Twitch or YouTube. But for the 3s, yeah, okay, more fish. Good.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.
We can do that. We can do that.
Yeah, I mean,
so guys, got questions for Fish, questions for us. Let's hear the questions. We'll do that for
and remember, like I said at the beginning, the dumbest question is the one that's not asked, because if you have to ask the fucking question, I guarantee one of us fucking 3 had to ask the same goddamn question in order to find out the damn answer. So please, ask.
Yeah,
ask. We're here.
Or we want to know the answer to the question you just asked, and
right? Because if I don't know, I'm damn sure to find out.
Absolutely.
I know these 2 guys are too.
I've asked thousands of questions in the last year for sure, at least since I joined After Hour. So it's a completely different experience. But yeah, it's all about asking questions.
Yeah.
So everyone's starting somewhere. So, and there's always something to learn. No one has the script ever. So not even Warren Buffett. Always ask the questions.
That's right. 10:30 yes, the 10:30 a.m. thing is Eastern time. Wondering what screener I use. Dude, it's so stupid. Oh my god. So I don't like I'm fucking cheap, bro. I don't like to pay for shit. I really don't. So my screeners, I have one set up on Robinhood just for 20%. Stocks that have made 20% that day. And then I have one set up on Webull for stocks that have moved 15% with a float under 50 million, and then another one stocks that have moved 20% with a float under 1 million. That's it. That's it. But I'm really, really thinking that I need to buy into, not buy into, but subscribe to FinViz, because I was taking a look at that. There's just a lot of good thoughts there. What's Freeballer? Any thoughts on PAL out and rates in a month? So, oof, that's a good one, dude. So PAL out as chair. We need to remember that doesn't mean that PAL is completely out. He will still be a Fed governor and still has a vote on raising or not, or raising or holding interest rates. I don't think rates will go down when he goes out. I don't think they'll do that right away. This is just me thinking. I think that if they are going to lower rates, which they probably will, if it's worse, I think they'll at least wait, a month or two, maybe 3 before they really start doing anything.
Well, I don't think that Tom Tillis from North Carolina, who's not running now, but I don't think he's gonna allow a vote. He'll vote with the Democrats until they drop the criminal charges against Powell.
That's correct. So Tillis has been very public about that, that he will not confirm Warsh, and Tillis holds the vote.
Yeah.
So until they not only drop the charges against Powell, but say that they won't bring them back,
right.
Tillis will not confirm Warsh. He just won't. So I don't know what happens in the case of, okay, Powell's term is up and we don't have anyone else.
I think he stays. He stays, I believe.
He stays? Okay.
Yeah. There's no pocket, appointment or I think he would remain. That sort of puts the pressure back on, the administration to come up with their resolution on this. Because that would be the effect is, he's going to stay as chair until the until the Senate confirms a new one. They're in a rock and a hard place on that one, and I think no matter what happens, he's going to stay in as a governor.
Absolutely,
he's still going to have his influence, be able to say his piece behind closed doors. Right on through till 28, sometime in 28.
Yeah, no, he stays on as a governor.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Cody says, I've been in ONDS since July of last year. What's the strategy for ONDS in the short term? Hold, sell options.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in the short term, I'm not expecting too much. I think people are going to hold their breath until that investors call and vote to increase the available float. And then assuming once that passes, there might be some negative sentiment. I think volume is going to be low. People are going to be out of it, but I think short interest is going to drop and then we're going to see it rip again. So I think you could sell, options sell calls on outstanding shares right now. Sell CSPs. The thing is, we don't know when they're going to get a big contract, and they're probably going to get a big contract. I mean, if you looked at the worldview stuff, that is the potential to essentially provide yearly revenue that's as much as their market cap now. Obviously, that's not happening yet, but we don't know when a Golden Dome contract might get announced, FAA contract might get announced. No one knows. So, but your calls could go underwater, but also it could be a good hedge. Just sell covered calls in your shares while we wait. No one really knows, so we can just take our best guess. And right now, I do think it's going to be kind of flat, probably, maybe go down a bit over the next 2 months until we get to that shareholder meeting. But I'd say watch short interest. If short interest starts to come down below 30%, goes to more like 10 to 15%, expect some upside, most likely. And I'd say 2028 leaps over 2027. So I'm going to be rolling my leaps most likely, but not yet. So I don't want to pay for extra theta decay.
Hey, so if you back up a little bit, Lawrence of A asked about closing the Strait of Hormuz. This idea that is that a way to decrease the national debt? Would Venezuela and Canada, wouldn't the rest of the world have to get their natural gas, be made up from United States production?
Not necessarily from United States production, but because we have to remember that they're still allowing Russian oil to pass, or to go through, since it doesn't go through the strait. But what it does more importantly is it f's with China, right? See, Iran was saying that the currency for the toll to be paid to get out, and the currency for all oil to that was being filled in the tankers, they were saying that it had to be in Bitcoin or in Chinese currency. And so this is a way to fuck with the Chinese currency, Chinese yuan.
Yeah, and I don't
Also,
see.
China gets a lot of their gas from here, their oil. So if they can't, then Chinese prices go up, which means Chinese manufacturing costs go up as well, which means a lot of shit gets moved back to the U.S. where we're already pumping and controlling not only our own but Venezuelan.
Yeah, it's a complicated thing when you shut off 20%. Or I mean, there's normally 100 ships go through a day, and now it's a handful. That's a big impact. I don't see that with the proximity of China to the Persian Gulf versus having to get oil from America or Venezuelan oil,
Chi-
which they were buying before, right? Some
China would get
Venezuelan
it
oil.
from China would probably get it from Russia, I would imagine.
Right, right.
They have a good relationship.
So I was looking at a map just out of this sort of just popped in my head, but um Pakistan was the one that was supposedly intermediating the talks between JD Vance and
Correct.
Iran, right?
Correct.
Um that's one of two countries that share a border with Iran and China, is Pakistan.
I wonder what their interest in it was.
Yeah, who you know what I mean? So yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's pretty complicated stuff, but um yeah. Yeah, I know. I was wondering here a few weeks ago about how how things might be different, because when I was a kid, or even as young as JT there, the idea of America having more oil production than anyone in the world was like, if you had said that when I was your age, people would look at you like he was crazy, Then the whole fracking revolution, it just changes the whole picture completely. I think there's a lot more going on than just Iran and this nuclear stuff, and
Oh yeah,
Israel, and yeah, yeah.
there's a lot more to it. That's why I always say look at the macro level. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
There's a lot more that there's a lot more than meets the eye, and it's not just what we see now. It's what we've seen in the past. How does it correlate to now, and what do we think is going to happen in the future? All
Hmm.
we can do is use the information that we have available to us and our critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
You know.
Got a lot of questions tonight.
Yeah,
I
no doubt.
want to know what fish has got.
All right, let's
Absolutely.
go. Let's throw another one up here. What do we got?
Scrolling up in the chat. Let's see here. Dell asks, what's your position on SPY this week?
Bro,
You trying to make it on that?
I'm gonna tell you my position on SPY this week. Trade the chart in front of you. That's it. Trade the chart in front of you. That's all I can say to you. You know, who knows what happened this week? Nobody. Nobody. You know what I mean?
Right.
So my best advice is on SPY is day trade the chart in front of you. If you're looking to swing, again, you've got to use the information available to you and your critical thinking skills. Remember hopium is just something that you can put in a pipe and smoke. It's not going to do anything positive or negative for your portfolio necessarily. You know, that's all up to the charts.
What I'll say is NQ and SPY are pretty similar. Just my synopsis right now. Obviously, war news, huge sell off right now in overnight markets. We're trending back up into this pretty large fair value gap here. I'm expecting a retest of the midpoint and then probably a rejection. We have a lot more resting liquidity down here than we do up top. So my sense about the market right now, obviously with the talks not going well, is bearish. Of course, that could swap if we get any sort of political news. But I'd say I'm bearish on the week. I think we're going to retest of this midpoint due to how big of a correction that was overnight. At least on NQ was like 400 points, and then I'm expecting it to retest and then bounce to the downside. So that's my current take, just going into tonight and tomorrow.
I agree. Oh, and another important thing to sort of segue off of that. Don't forget that Friday is monthly OPEX.
Oh, okay. We've had so many big news events recently. I mean, I think last week the financial calendar was just full of stuff, but that's good to know for Friday.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on news? Do you trade the volatility on news, or do you stay clear of news days?
Dude, so there's a lot of people that I trade with during the day in the kingdom, and they don't like to trade the news. Some of them do, some of them don't. I say you got to trade what feels best for you. Me, I like trading the chart and the news, and I will a lot of times put more stock in the news to sort of front run the chart. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, but I definitely trade the news. I absolutely do.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you can get some of the best volatility. And if you kind of have an inkling of what's going on, just taking a look at the chart, I mean, those can be your biggest winning days for sure.
That's right.
We don't ever like flip CPI stuff just because you don't know. But yeah, certain news events for sure, you're watching. And that's also why you got to have like stops in place too. If you're trading and aren't looking at the news, I mean, there's some days where maybe you're short and you get the Iran news that there's apparently a ceasefire and then it goes up 500 points, you get liquidated. So yeah, always make sure you have a stop loss in place if you're trading because it'll work in your favor.
And let me clarify that. Do I trade the news? The news that I trade is scalping during White House press conferences or during the president speaking. That's what I mean when I say I'm trading the news. You know what I mean? Or is there someone saying open the fucking straight, you crazy bastards?
Yeah,
That's news that I'm gonna trade.
yeah. You got to open up Webull fast on that one.
I needed 4 different confirmations that wasn't AI before I believed it. I was just like, wow,
dude.
Easter Sunday? I couldn't
happy
believe
Easter. Yeah, happy Easter. So I mean, do I trade the news? Yes, but you definitely use the Trump tracker, boys. Absolutely. So do I trade the news? Yes. Do I trade FOMC? No, I don't trade FOMC. That's too dangerous for me. I'm high risk, high reward, and that's too high risk, high reward for me.
Those are 50-50s for sure. So yeah. It's hard to get because you don't have the data, so it's hard to get an inkling what's going on. Let's see, we're pulling up on an hour 30, so let's do one more question, and then we're definitely gonna have Fish on again. This has been our longest session, and it's been a lot of fun. So if you have questions, we'll have Fish back on for sure. This is great. Yeah, Fish, you pick the last question. You pick it. What do you? There's a host of them. I think you can scroll if you want. Or that last one's pretty good about the advice.
What gentleman's advice? Gentleman's advice to younger person professionally, and why and how to be successful.
That's a pretty good one.
Smoke hash and make pigs. Yeah,
I mean,
look for 52-week lows.
I'll tell you what I like to do. I like to do high risk, high reward shit that is fun and gets my heart racing. Right. That's not how you're gonna be a young professional that is slowly chipping away, adding 2% gains. Selling options. That's a good way to do it. Just collect your theta. Be like Bob Dog and be a theta daddy. make your 2% a week and just, stack it. If you're going to trade options, make sure that you're sizing appropriately. Don't trade more than a couple percent of your port, um, especially if you have a small port. If you have a small port, you probably shouldn't be trading options. You should probably just be sticking with shares only. And in that case, you don't want to be going with the YOLOs, because that's how you're going to be not trading at all. You're not going to have any more damn money. With those, you need to look for stocks that have good fundamentals. I would look for emerging markets, and stocks that you see have a good growth path. That's what I would say.
Well, this is the difference between trading and investing.
Shit. Well, yeah, I guess
That's
that
what you're talking about there with the sizing and having fun with the getting your heart racing on the but they're not YOLO picks. They're sized appropriately, whether they're options or the penny stock 52-week low looking for that big bounce on a low floater, or the short squeeze, with the right setup and the right catalyst. But investing is a whole nother, that's a whole nother take on things, the trading, skimming, playing with that hot money versus putting money in with conviction on something, and watching it grow or waiting on it to grow.
Conviction's huge, man.
Yeah.
I've got one that I'm down pretty decent on, and guess what I do? I buy more fucking shares. I buy more fucking shares. I put in the comments, I'm like, short this bitch. Come on, I want them cheaper. I want them cheaper. Because I got conviction and I know what the company does. And I know that it is an emerging market. And I know that I am so goddamn early. It's crazy. Data Vault AI. I'm telling you, look into it, guys.
You made me money on that one. I mean, you called it at like 76, went to $1.25. I haven't gotten back in since then, but that one was sick. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's on my radar for sure.
It's not just a penny stock. I'm telling you, it's a real company. Last week, was it? Yeah, I believe it was last week. The CEO had his second meeting at Mar-a-Lago. Those are usually good signs for a company. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. So. But yeah, I'm down on my position. And guess what? I don't give a fuck. I'll buy more fucking shares. I don't care. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, shares are if you got high conviction and you done your research and you get shares. I mean, if you actually did the research, it's hard to lose with shares because you don't have that theta you're playing against. And if you think it's going to go up and you did the research, you have reasons, it's probably going to go up. So, that's a great just hint of advice is just shares for that for sure, especially if you got a long time horizon.
Yep. Yes. Gecko DVLT. That's correct. Yeah, dude. I've traded it at $4 before, and it's sub $1 now. Why wouldn't I buy?
Yeah, I mean, you get more than that, 6, 7, 8 times the shares. Yeah, absolutely. If you got high conviction, I mean, that is awesome. I'm definitely gonna pick it up. I picked up more like UMAC leaps, Lightpath leaps, and honestly, just in place of shares for me. So that's for my risk tolerance. I like the leaps. Yeah, I love average down on those just with what it's looking like long term. So that's I know some people are like, oh, I only average up in positions, but I like averaging down if it's high conviction for sure.
Yeah, I like
that
discounts, man.
Oh yeah, everyone does. That's all. Yeah, that's why you gotta hold cash too. That's key. Key is holding cash. It's boring, but it's profitable.
Sorry, just one more thing to follow up on that that question about advice for newer traders, whatever. Warren Buffett, man, seriously, Warren Buffett. Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. When you see that fear and greed index down at like 13, hit that fucking buy button. Buy that shit. Because it's coming back up. Stocks go up, stocks go down, stocks go up.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah, I mean, I usually use the RSI to track out on the longer time frames because you can really tell when the sentiment is shifting. And every time, usually, or at least a lot of high percentage of the time, when you see it hit that bottom band, eventually it's trending back up to the top, and then vice versa. If it's on that top end, okay, think to sell, maybe sell some covered calls on it, things like that. It's just a great, easy strategy. You don't got to overthink it.
Yep.
And hey, Warren Buffett's holding cash right now too. If anybody is, he's holding cash. Great goodness.
A
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, man, it was a crazy bull run. So we'll see what happens. Who knows? Who knows if the bottom's in? I don't think so. But
The bottom is nowhere in, dude. So I mean, here's the thing on my macro view, if I may.
Yeah, I had nowhere to be. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
All right, cool. So the bottom is nowhere near in. When expert analysts were predicting a 10% correction, the war was not priced in. The war added another 5%. So we just need to get back to where we were before the Iran war started, and then we can expect another 10%.
Yeah, that would be brutal. I mean, that would bring us down here like April tariff lows for sure, maybe a little bit lower. Yeah.
And then last summer I was speaking with a guy who works at S&P Global for a while, and what he told me, you guys can watch it for yourselves, and you've already seen it. Commodities are what you watch. When you start seeing commodities going up, that's when you know that your correction is coming in. So that's
commodities are okay. Was there an index to track that? Do we have a straight commodities index?
That I don't know.
It's like a little goal. I mean,
but you can just look at, you can track it via futures charts. Wheat, soybeans, different shit like that.
Yeah, I like looking at the oil and then like corn because of how that like gets converted to ethanol. That was kind of fun seeing all that and how all those things work. What about, do you like gold? Do you like gold leaps?
I love
gold.
I love trading gold.
Yeah, I like it below 5,000 right now for sure. I mean, I think if we do see a further correction, which I believe we will. I mean, most everyone thinks it's dead cat bounce, which is the only reason that I think maybe there could be some sort of inverse. But yeah, I mean, gold is looking really good after that sell off we saw.
I mean, here's the thing about gold, right? Yes, Bitcoin, we know Bitcoin is finite. There is only so much that can ever be mined in the history of computers, right? As far as we know. Gold, a little bit different. You can, still mine more gold, but it's not like more gold is being added into the system, right? So like as far as like immense amounts of gold, like they're not just like finding shit tons of mining shit tons of gold and dumping it into the system. So that tells me that it is absolutely going to go back up. I think last year gold went up 88% or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was something crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So like what they need to do now is they need to shake out retail, who got into this big fucking metals hype, right? Silver was booming, gold was booming. You got to shake out retail, right? Then big money can get back in, and then we can raise the price back up. But I think long term gold, yeah, sub 5,000 or so. What is it right now?
It's like 4,500 something like that.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think we'll see at least $1,000 by the end of the year.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of looking at gold. I was like thinking, between holding cash and then just holding gold. I was like, it's always good to have cash. I was like, man, this almost feels like after the discount of like a money market fund with some extra interest in terms of just holding some gold. I know. I think it was Terrified of AI was holding quite a bit of gold, or maybe it was gold calls for a while, and he definitely made a killing on that. That was a very good call.
I actually got into trading gold because of him.
Oh yeah. I think I may have too. Just seeing some of his stuff, it definitely interested me a lot. That I know the Greek as well has some good plays on gold and things. There's definitely a lot of after-hour traders that called. I think Carly Vix Queen as well. He's talking about gold.
Yeah, huge shout out to Carly B. Me. If you guys don't follow Carly, you guys should. She is super, super fucking smart. She used to work for big banks. She knows her shit. You should give her a call.
She's got a Substack as well. I know we linked on a previous stream. So if you look up Vix Queen on Substack, you'll find her. Just great content. On the Hidden Gems, if you look at my follow list, you can find her from there too. Yeah, she makes great content. Great content on a daily basis. Check her out.
And it's all about the macro.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know?
I mean, as we're sitting here trading the fucking 5-minute chart and the daily, these fucking guys are trading the weekly, the monthly. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's the cool thing about trading is, I mean, yeah, there's definitely a bigger picture, but there's so many different ways you can make money too. It definitely helps knowing a little bit of everything or a lot of everything. But it's cool to see you can do the micro caps, you can do leaps, you can do futures trading. There's so many different ways to make money. So it's always good to keep adding something to your tool belt every week. So you guys can do it by coming to these live streams. So yeah, you want to see fishing
Right on.
live streams.
Love it. I'm here, baby.
All right. Okay. Well, yeah, your DMs will be funded by me to come on for sure. this is fun. I mean, this is 100 hour and 40 minutes. I can't believe we've been streaming that long. That is
I'm good.
It's gonna take like 30 minutes to seed then upload. Oh man, I was gonna update the. I'm considering if I want to put up the futures guide in the morning instead of sending. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll send
I actually kept myself pretty reserved this time too, so maybe next time we'll see a little bit more fishy.
You have to go off the walls, especially if there's some crazy news.
Oh my god,
some good clips or something. Yeah.
Oh, dude, look at this. I love
Nice.
this. Lauren Savay says these streams are my only source of joy. I mean, I hate that, but I love that.
Right.
Hey, Lawrence, I can't say this too loud. My wife hopefully is asleep, but who knows? Dude, I hate the fucking weekends, bro. They suck. I can't fucking trade like Friday, Saturday. I can't trade Sunday until 6 o'clock. Oh my god.
Right.
Oh my god. It's terrible. And my wife's like, yes, and I'm just sitting here going like, all right, so what am I looking for next week?
It's crazy how that changed too. That changed for me as well. When I went for more like investing and then adding like the futures trading, is like I could not wait for the weekend to be over just to get to back in and just learn more. I mean, it's
right.
It's just really it's almost addicting. Just learn, especially when you start learning stuff, your setup starts hitting more. It's like, oh man, like there's something real to this. So it's fun. It's more fun than any job I've ever had. So
absolutely,
yeah. Benny, any other closing words? Anything else? I know we got big stuff coming up with ZHG 0 Hour Group that we can't talk about yet. But otherwise, I mean, we got the new ONDS interview come out on X. We got a couple other things cooking. But anything else you want all the people know about?
No, you said it, man. I mean, who wants a job? Jobs suck.
It's 0 Hour Group. We are full-time jobs in like a year or so with the current progress. I'm sure. Well, we gotta get the companies to pay us to come out to interview. Retail needs to know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, I appreciate everyone coming in. It's a big group tonight. 62 up to 62 right now, and that's fantastic. I appreciate everybody, getting their girlfriend to tune in with them.
Hell yeah! Next time,
Fish has a fan base, man.
Right. Yeah, it's all Fish's fault.
The people love
fish.
we
appreciate you coming on.
Hey, yeah, man. I'm coming back. I'll swim back anytime.
Right on.
Hey, good to hear. And I appreciate you coming on short notice there too. I was like, I want to get Fish on. And I was like, there's no way he's gonna have time. But he's like, yeah, hope you're on. I'm like, let's go. That was exciting.
You guys want to talk stocks? I'm there. Let's do it.
I love it. I've been missing your guys' old podcast. So I was like, well, let's just start our own podcast and let's start bringing people on from that podcast.
There you go, dude.
Right.
Hey, man, there's room, man. The people want it. People get it.
Yeah. Well, we've been streaming like some earning calls and stuff, intra week, and we this is our lockdown time slot. But there's always, I'm always down to do a live stream during the week just to pop up to discuss something. So who knows? Maybe we'll start doing that if there's some big news and we want to just talk about that and we'll laugh a bit. That's definitely an option. So yeah, appreciate it.
If you guys get me during the week, you're gonna get me fucking amped up, man. It's gonna be a different fish. I'm pretty chill today.
The weekly preview.
Damn
it! A weekly preview and then like Fish Unhinged or something. We could do that. Could be like what's like big news happens, 30 minutes, no filter, just go off.
Fish Unhinged.
Fish are
I think the
fish
people have
unfiltered.
seen a lot of that.
We'll have to think of a name. And if everyone's got an idea for a name for that, that could be funny. Yeah, these all go up on YouTube too and Substack. So maybe we'll have to start a YouTube series. Yeah, Fish Unchained or something. I don't know. We'll think of a name.
Oh, dude, I'm fish unhinged, bro. That was the first words out of your mouth. That's what we keep. I love it.
Oh man, that'll be fun. That'll be okay. I'm gonna keep that in the back burner of an idea. And the thing is, like, it's gonna be on like news or something, so it's gonna have to be like randomly. But I'm always down to hop on for a live stream, so it can be fun.
I'm down, dude. I can do spur of the moment. It's cool.
All right. Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna have to create like a little Discord group to talk about that. 'Cause that'll be fun.
Sounds good. I love it.
All right, guys. Well, it's getting late. I haven't made dinner yet, so I think I'm gonna go make some dinner. Fish, again, appreciate you coming on, and hope to see you again soon on this, man. This is fun, and we'll work on the other series. That sounds really fun too.
Absolutely. I love this.
Yep.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Right on, Fish. We appreciate it very much.
Yep. And thanks everyone for tuning in. I appreciate it, really.
Absolutely.
Anytime you want to come on, we're here. And yeah, we'll get the other series done. That'll be fun. All right, guys. Well, appreciate you. This video's going up for the people who haven't seen it yet. I know Geo's watching that tomorrow. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. And Fish is definitely coming back.
100%.
Right on. Appreciate everyone.
We got Bob Dog next week, so get ready for that too. All right, guys.
Right on.
Great night.
Later, Fish.
That was fucking fun, guys.
Yeah, man.
That was fun.
I enjoyed that. That was good shit.
Good deal. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good. Y'all have
I'm
a
out.
good one, guys. Peace.
See ya. Have a good night.